Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Melina Landrio. Thank you for sharing space with me today. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your support. It's been a little while, and I'm happy to come and share a message with you all. Guiding into this message today, my throat began to get coarse, so this message is not, somebody is not wanting it to get out. I also noticed nerves, like nervous to say this message, which indicated to me that spell work is afoot and somebody is placing some sort of veil, some form of film over the existence or the truth of something that is occurring for you at this time. So you might be finding things aren't seeming their normal homeostasis. Something is off. Something that normally you would say no to, perhaps you've been swayed or noticed a weird sway in your reaction to it. But most certainly you have corrected yourself before entertaining such an action, because you know that's not your true experience in the reality of things. So if this resonates with you, perhaps the following message is for you. Please use your discernment. Don't make anything fit that doesn't fit. This message is coming, I believe, timely, and I believe is going to illuminate some experiences that you may have been having leading into this message. A lot of nerves and a lot of silence was experienced trying to express it. So this might resonate with you. Something might be eerily quiet in your neck of the woods. Something has somehow changed in its existence, or some sort of illumination has risen, but you can't quite put your finger on it. I channeled a monkey mask, one with black fur, a few weeks back. And I noticed there was some red markings on it, or rather, I was aware there were red markings on this mask. Now, whether these indentations of red were indented into the actual mask as it was purchased, or they were markings that became onto this mask as it's been worn, I am unsure. But I do know that it was a monkey mask. It had black fur, and I noticed red on it. And I believe the red was around the mouth areas of this mask. So this might be of significance to you. 2 p.m. could also be of significance. And at that point of the channel, I experienced some very heavy frat boy type energy. Something to do with or in relation to these monkey masks. Might be a group of people wearing a mask, creating some form of illusion that it's fun. The energy feels very distorted to me. It's supposed to look like meaningless fun, but it's getting out of hand intentionally. There's something being conjured up underneath a street lamp, maybe in a park area nearby. I'm also being shown a woman in her mid-40s with a petite frame, so on the shorter side. Maybe she's thicker, like myself. And I believe that she might be a mother as well. Also, at some point during this channel, I also received the experience of an itchy left foot, which I felt could be of significance to this download. So particularly the heel, the flexor digitorum brevis to be exact. I had to look it up. I don't know if I trampled on the enunciation of that, but that's what it's called. It's essentially a center muscle that lies in the middle of the sole of your foot. And then I was reminded of an experience that I had when I was a kid where I stepped on a nail. So stepping on a nail could be of significance. And also when I looked up this area of the foot, I was guided to do so. Discord or issues in particular with the kidney or small intestines, or perhaps even internal self-realization, could be of significance, as the left foot holds vital energy for moral, spiritual understanding and growth. And this is what came up when I looked up what I was guided to check out. Also, Jesus is significant. Maybe Christmas time, Christmas Day, leading into Christmas, leading out of Christmas. There's something very significant about Christmas and Jesus in particular, so it's making me think Christmas Day. And then I heard in due time. Maybe something about an appraisal here, having faith for a peaceful solution or resolution. Then I also saw a dove, which signifies peace to me. And then I also got the awareness that someone has an itch and it's contagious or it is spreading. Now, 311 is a number that came up as well. So intuition, teaching abilities emanate from this number. So that could be very significant. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're very intuitive, maybe you have both of these abilities, and you're being guided to understand them in a depth, because this number also represents an experience. And what came up was anxiety was very prevalent. And for me, often I could get anxiety when I'm having forms of intuition come through to let me be aware of certain types of circumstances. So this could be like the teaching part of understanding your intuition. So maybe you've always known you're intuitive, but maybe you've received some form of upgrade and you're learning to understand some of the dynamics that you're experiencing. Or you could be somebody who's just realizing that you're intuitive. Maybe you've been cut off from your gifts. Not saying that you didn't have the gifts, but sometimes our life circumstances don't hold us to be able to share who we truly are in our innate form. So maybe you're someone like this who's been cut off and you're just starting to embrace them. And maybe you're understanding that this anxiety that you've been experiencing was actually a form of intuition or a signal of some form of intuition, the gut feeling to listen to when you're in danger, you know. Essentially, 311 is also a symbol to pay attention to your surroundings. So when you are out and about walking around alone, perhaps you get anxious and you might want to pay attention to your anxiety. You know, sometimes we get anxiety to direct us, to keep us safe. And this comes from our gifts for our purpose, for our mission, so we can move forward in life the way that we're meant to. And we are offered these tools to help us navigate the best that we can. Also, the number 328 is also significant. So this is all about having faith, and that you're also being encouraged to trust that you are making the right decisions. Maybe you've been second guessing yourself, and maybe you know that the decisions that you're making are good, but maybe there's things interfering that are, like I said at the beginning of this read, spell work is very eminent. Like you might be saying yes to things that you would normally say no to, and then catching yourself and like wondering, why am I saying yes to this when I would obviously say no? Like it's a weird result that I'm receiving. So this is to trust that you're making the right decision when you're realizing that and you're snapping or you're getting it. Trust it. Again, also in relation to your intuition. And also be enthusiastic about your movement forward, because enthusiasm is really embedded in the number 328, as well as making decisions, like taking action on your intuition and your trust. So this is all well encompassed in this number. It's about maintaining high vibrational energy. It's very important. So if you're somebody who, just gone through an awakening and you're understanding the levels of energy in a new way, and maybe you're struggling with the ups and the downs of the past into the future, this is something that you're to become aware of, and not to shame yourself for the moments that you maybe perhaps entertained the past actions as just a reaction to a circumstance, but it's just to become aware of it in your intuition in the moments that you have these reactions where you are trying to make an informed decision moving out of a circumstance into new. And it's not to shame yourself for this. It's just to have the understanding, I caught myself doing an old dance that I don't want to do no more. And now I'm going to step out of it and not do that again and move forward and change the direction of the tonal value of your nature that day and that moment. Excuse me, my throat became dry as I started to entertain this reading. So somebody definitely doesn't want this message getting out. So you must be doing something right if you got somebody coming up against you to try to stop you in your tracks. So just to be aware of that. I think the song is called Back It Up and Dump It by GC Eternal. And the particular lyrics I got were, and I'm going to not do well in singing this, so I'm going to do my best. Where they at? Hey, I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it. Let me see that dump truck, baby. So somebody like somebody's booty is of significance here. And this is what I received for this message. So I wanted to jump into this message today and see what's up with these monkey masks. What's up with this heightened understanding of your surroundings? What's going on with this frat boy energy? And I'm being guided to use my new deck here. So I'm going to go ahead and be obedient. I do hope everyone is doing well. It's been some pretty beautiful fall weather here. Kids have been enjoying the sunshine, as we have as well. Now, High Priestess. Or sorry, High Priest. Tower. I'm going to pass on those three and take it one at a time, please. Take them. Okay. I'm going to take these two together. Okay, so we have the High Priest, the Tower that's being influenced, the Seven of Feathers, and we have the Eight of Chalices here. It's 15:55 on my timer at this time. So the High Priest is all about a spiritual authority. It's about somebody who's able to lead in guidance, in tradition. You know, they're leading traditional, like the religious ceremonies, or they're mentoring, or they're teaching community and belonging. And this is now being influenced, this opportunity for somebody, or that has been an opportunity for someone, is now being influenced by a tower. And the tower is definitely embarking sudden disruption. And this is causing a collapse for this high priest. This high priest has been engaging in their pride and ego. And this is where I'm seeing these monkey masks. This is the kind of frat boy energy. So this is kind of that type of energy that I'm feeling here. It's very chaotic and it's very destructive, or it has been very chaotic and destructive. So place that where it fits. Like maybe you've been going through this with somebody in your life that had authority, and you really trusted them, but perhaps maybe they caused some form of discord for you. And this is showing the sudden disruption. So somebody has interfered in this, or multiple people have interfered in this experience. So this is a forced change with the tower. And this is definitely destined for change with the Seven of Feathers and the Eight of Cups coming beyond it. The Seven of Feathers is something has to change. A balance needs to come in transition is what I'm getting for this. So this high priest could be in or entering a transition of a new phase of growth, change, personal transformation, or this is you. This is the energy of the Eight of Cups, right? It's this transitioning, growth, change, transformation. But the fact that the Seven of Feathers is there is all about deception. And the goal of this high priest was to be selfish. They caused deception. They acted selfishly. They manipulated in their actions for their own personal gain. And this has been illuminated as the tower is now hitting, or has hit, or is about to hit. And this person is needing to kind of check themselves through what they've caused. And what I'm getting is there's a lot of moral implications here, very complex occurrences and interactions that are stemming from these experiences. So that definitely is entertaining the energy that I was getting with the monkey mask, the frat boy energy, and also the, like, I'm seeing like the night lamp in like a park again. So that also is something that might be of significance. So place that how it fits or how it resonates with you guys. But definitely something is falling and change is afoot. Whoop. Okay. So the Wheel of Fortune has changed. This could be also representing the tower. So there's been change of direction. And I believe the numbers in the channel were 311, which are all about teaching abilities and intuition. So perhaps you are a teacher, somebody who has intuition, high intuition, and maybe the tables have turned and it's now your turn to step into some form of high priest or high priestess type of energy moving forward out of the past experience of manipulation. that caused you to have to really transition or change out of some form of discord to a great deal, an extent from what I'm gathering. Maybe it caused you to second guess yourself, to question your experiences that you were having in your surroundings. It's a kind of a trickster energy, and I was getting that at the beginning, like spell casting. It's like this energy that kind of swoons over you, and you're just not responding in a way that you normally would, realistically speaking. And it's kind of a bizarro experience, and you're like, why would I say that when I would normally really represent this stance? I don't know if that's making any sense. That's just what I'm getting. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is, in this positioning, is all about the cycles and continual change, right? So it's like on one spectrum, this high priest was in charge, and now it's flipping, and somebody else is coming into a position of authority as a high priest. There's also some sort of interconnectedness of these events that are unusual and illuminating some form of divine fate. So this is something that's meant to happen. This is not something that's this is orchestrated by the divine. This is something that has been fated, and it's to brim hope and guidance, and fuel from the interconnectedness of the teachings, right? It's like when we have experiences in our life that are really hard and they cause us a lot of discord, we could sit there in those experiences and continue to move forward in that discord, or we can utilize the experience and the emotional captivity of what we've endured, and we could face it head on. And this is the most powerful moment, when you could actually sit in with your emotions and hug them. It's like, hey, I'm sad and I'm confused. What is this teaching me right now? And sit with it and listen to your body and notice the subtle changes that occur. Physically, your heart might sink more. It brought you to a depth. Maybe you'll start to race in your energy, nervousness, perhaps. It brought you anxiety. This is also part of this channel. And also understanding intuition. And when you go to each connected experience and you experience it in the way that it's showing you, you experienced it, it's living in it. And I'm not saying to live in it and be that sadness and discord or whatever it is that you're experiencing that's been hard. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying be in it and experience what the reality was for you in regards to its teachings, because it's the teachings that are going to pull you out of it and move you forward. And you cannot get to those teachings unless you dive deep into your experience. Oftentimes we are so afraid to feel the pain and the suffering or the hurt or the trauma that we've once lived that we avoid it altogether. And this is the biggest mistake. And we live in a world that's like a pill popping society where people just throw these remedies, these quick fixes to make sure you don't experience that pain or discord again. But there is so much mulching and richness in the soil of our emotions that we are really underestimating, or we're completely overlooking the power of it, because perhaps maybe you weren't taught to be emotionally available to your experiences or your circumstances to be able to dive into it. So this wheel within a wheel card here is kind of showing the mulching and the turning and the cultivation of what was into what will be. And this was something that's recently illuminated. If it hasn't recently illuminated, it's about to. This is a present type of energy, but it's a future energy as well. So you could be going into this right now and about to commence through, or you've just gone through that and you're moving slowly. So depending on the pace of where you're at and how you experience all that you've experienced up to this point, and then moving forward from it, and in growth and renewal and this transitioning or transformation experience of the Eight of Cups, it'll depend on how everybody's different, right? At the capabilities of how we understand things. So it's not to say anybody's better than another. It's just we all entertain experiences differently. Some people think more, some people feel more, some people know more. It's just about how you interpret your experience and solely your perspective of an experience, because whatever we're experiencing is what we're projecting out. Okay? I hope that made sense. Helped somebody out there. Let's see the future energy of all this. Ooh, interesting. And this card in the reverse is expressing that you perhaps, and this could also be the High Priest did this as well. So place this where it fits whoever you are in this reading in regards to this circumstance, okay? We have a High Priest, and we have somebody entering into a cycle of change from the experience of whatever that High Priest dished out. This Three of Chalices in the reverse it's kind of expressing this overindulgence or something in excess. So if what you experienced with this particular High Priest energy caused you so much difficulty and discord, which is how this energy feels, okay? This is like, let's say, because there's a lot of anxiety in this reading as well. So let's say that this, whatever this experience was for you, of trauma that you endured, that you had to go through, that you're still probably going through, perhaps you didn't connect with the emotions of it, like I just suggested. That's what the wheel there is suggesting, right? Perhaps maybe you're processing it still. So the Three of Chalices in reverse is kind of telling me this is somebody who's, when it says overindulgence, that's what I mean by it. It's like you're processing what you went through and you may be having to reprocess and process again. So it might feel or seem like you're doing something in excess, but it could just be the way your brain works. So myself, as somebody who has a neurodivergent brain, I can go through multiple scenarios of an experience in many different layers and ways until I fully understand it. And that's just the way that my brain would work. So maybe you are someone with a neurodivergent brain and you just have to go through all the different innuendos or scenarios of your experience to fully gauge and understand how it's really sitting with you. So you may have felt like you have a lack of support, or maybe you've placed yourself in isolation because you're an empath. Maybe your abilities have really heightened and you are really experiencing your surroundings in a large way. And maybe you've had to isolate yourself from the energies that surround you to be able to fully engage and get a grip of what you're actually experiencing. There's also some form of social conflicts here. So maybe you stood up for yourself in regards to this High Priest and you called them out on their crap that they were dishing out. And maybe this has created some form of loss in connection with the circumstances, as well as social conflicts. Maybe people that are also in the surrounding areas. And as I'm saying this, I'm getting a stitch in my back. So I'm going to look that up in a moment. But a lack of connection, or loss of connection, or social conflicts, some sort of imbalance in the harmonious way is definitely involved here in regards to you moving forward into the energy of change from into this transition, because you're having to go through. And this is also, maybe you need to take a deep breath and maybe step out of it for a bit and try to experience some form of joy, something that will just take your mind off of the usual experience of deciphering what has been, because it's not good to sit in that perpetual state all the time, especially when you're, you're just trying to place what was, what is, and it's like it has to just be what has been, and how you accept it or not accept it and move forward from it. It's your choice to continue cycling in that energy or to move out and away from it. So it's like there's neglect on yourself, enjoying the simple pleasures because you're constantly going in this energy. And that, I think, takes us back to the channel where it was about, I think it was, maybe it was the number 328, something about the high vibrational, low vibrational. So if you constantly go in the same cycle, that's this low energy that the high priest was dishing out, maybe you called them on it, and you're dealing with the ramifications of that. Not everybody saw it eye to eye as you saw it, but you saw it clear as day. And everybody else has blinders on because there's spell casting in the way. So this could be prevalent as well in the energy. So not everybody is necessarily seeing it the way you see it, but I think they're going to start to see it soon. But we'll see how this energy shifts as we move forward. But right now, I think this is saying the future of all of this energy right now is that you need to really experience something that's going to elevate your mood and make you feel more at peace and in a loving energy. So do something that's good for you. Go pamper yourself in some way, shape, or form. And we have the sun. So it's being illuminated. Some form of achievement and recognition is coming forth. New beginnings and enlightenment. So you might be getting some new information about the circumstances that have been, or about some form of movement forward that's going to bring you immense joy if you choose to embrace it. Again, it's a choice to stay stuck in the old cycle. We have a new cycle starting, and it's a choice. And that's been made very evident to you that you have this cycle here, and you can either continue on with what has been, or you can move forward into what will become. And so the sun is essentially saying, like, you can start to celebrate life again. You can start to have positivity and joy. There's achievement, like you've achieved something. There's recognition here. People are aware of what you have just brought to the table. And even though it may not feel this way, it sounds or feels like you've illuminated something to be aware of. And the fact that the scales are turning, it's going to be very obvious when the tower hits who's on the right side of what. Ooh. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay. So we have an 8 of candles here, and then we also have the 5 of chalices. So the 8 of candles is all about divine guidance. So you're receiving intuitively a lot of guidance at this time. There's a lot of rapid developments coming into your awareness. These might be new for you, or maybe just maybe this is not new. Maybe this is something that you used to have. Like maybe you get vivid dreams, or maybe you as well get downloads or channels. And maybe something had cut them off for you in the past, and like they stopped having. Like let's say you were someone who dreams a lot and you got premonitions in your dreams, or you just see things that maybe don't make sense, but then once you speak it out, it all of a sudden makes sense to somebody. Maybe you used to get dreams like that, and then all of a sudden they stop. This is again spell work in the air when I say this. You're starting to get this flow of communication where this experience or this knowledge that you once had, it could be dreams, it could just be knowing, or just your intuitive, maybe you're very clairvoyant or psychic. Regardless of whatever it is, you have this communication coming in through you, and this knowledge. I think it's something that's coming from you, and it's because it's being illuminated of what has occurred in regards to the illumination of this high priest, and I think you have everything to do with it. And so this rapid development of events is coming in. You're getting a lot of divine guidance, and you're getting this continued momentum to move forward. It's going to be like felt like a burst of energy if you haven't already started to gain it. It's a burst of energy that you're just going to get with a bunch of knowledge, and you're going to be able to start to profoundly utilize it to move you forward and out of that circumstance. And this is the way the wheel is turning for you. And you've got a lot of people in their emotions. You've got a lot of people experiencing loss and regret for not choosing you, for not believing in you, for just not like understanding the whole dynamic of what was going on. These people are focusing on all that's been lost. There's no acknowledgement in the mistakes that they decided and chose to partake in, because everybody gets to choose, right? You could choose to be a good person. You could choose to be a bad person. You could choose to be kind. You could choose to be an asshole. That's your choice. Whatever you choose to do is your ramification. You could go ahead and be whatever way you want to be, because that's your free will. But how, in the end of it, like, you're choosing to be in this energy. And if you're in this energy, it's because you're probably not taking acknowledgement of the mistakes or the feelings that you have in regards to the circumstances that could lead to potential for forgiveness. So there's people sitting in their feels right now. Maybe some are acknowledging it, but I feel like for the most part, they're just experiencing a lot of sorrow and regret, focusing on what has been lost, pertaining maybe towards learning how to forgive moving forward. But that's a process. And again, I believe it was the 7 of Feathers and the 8 of Cups influencing the 7 of Feathers as well was significant. And I believe that was all about transformation and transitioning, and it was like the forced change because of the manipulative actions that were to gain personal gain that were placed upon you or upon a group of people. And it was like something that was not responsible in the positioning of this high priest. Orchestrated events that were occurring that were causing you continual stagnation is what I'm hearing. Yeah, because you're to be celebrated. You're to be celebrated. You're going to overcome it all. You have. And you're going to start to realize just how much you've overcome. Again, going into your experiences, deciphering what has been, but really sitting with what has been so you can face it once and for all and move out of it with the divine guidance and energy that's brimming for you right now. It's overflowing towards you, and you could utilize this energy to help move you out. Because this is something that is very profound for you, and you're going to start to receive a lot of emotional fulfillment and harmony, which is something that was really stopped and blocked for you in the past by this high priest. So you're moving forward, and you're going to start to share your happiness and abundance, which is what the high priest should have been doing in the first place. But instead, they were not doing that. They were taking from your happiness and abundance, is what this feels like. So the tables have turned, and this is where you're leading out of and into somewhere forward that's going to be bright and shiny and just for you. And that's the message, guys. Thank you for sharing space with me. I'm looking forward to the next time. Take care.